If you're watching this or you're listening to it, however you are experiencing it, this is one of the things that I did years ago. Actually, when I say years ago, it wasn't that long ago. I read something about our reluctance to give things away as artists, how we get attached to things and we never want to let it go. And after reading the article, I was kind of shocked that they were actually describing the kind of attitude that I had at the time. And it was that when you do a work of art, you tend to kind of cling to it like your life depended on it, or something like that. You don't sort of let the work go. I mean, you don't release the art to leave you and go somewhere else. And after reading the article, I understood the importance of extensions. In other words, you need to have the work walk away from you or leave your space and go and begin to tell people about you, because you've created it. It is part of you. And you need to be able to let the work go out there and do its work, which is to market you as an artist. The article actually, it was a kind of a pamphlet. Can't remember the writer, but it was saying that the smart thing to do actually was to spend about a year as an artist, just paint good works, and then make sure that every piece of work you paint, that you give it to someone who you find, obviously you have to find out that they appreciate what you're doing. You want to give it to them free. This should be good works, not rubbish, not garbage that you want to throw away. This should be presented as if they are for exhibitions and you have to give them away. I mean, it will cost you money, that's for sure. You have to spend money in making the art, presenting the art, and delivering the art. Now, when I first read this mixture of advice, I was like taken aback because I thought, why would you paint all this stuff, make all this effort, and then give it away to somebody? That was when it hit me that if I followed the conclusion of the pamphlet, the book, what it was saying is this, that those early promotions you do are actually cheaper than the promotions you do later in your career. Say, for example, you painted 100 pictures. And you gave it to 100 people. Let's say, for sake of argument, that these works were like 60 centimeter by 90 centimeter wide, and you had painted them well, presented them well, and given away to 100 people. Now, like I said, it's going to cost you money, so I'm not trying to belittle that part. It's difficult, but that's how the game is played. So now you find 100 people, various individuals. There may be school teachers, schools, offices, whatever. You give away 100 of that, and in each one you give away, you have a kind of an affidavit. You have a kind of a write-up of what the art means or whatever you want to say about it, and it becomes part of a certificate of authentication for that artwork. You give both this information, this piece of paper, to the new receiver, to the person you're gifting it to. You give it to them, and you don't ask anything for return. Remember, you don't say, oh, if this work sells, you have to give me some money or give me a percentage. None of that stuff. You give it away as a goodwill. So everything you're giving from your bottom of your heart. You're giving it out of love, as they say. And what that does is this, and it will surprise you. What that does is that out of the 100 people who you have given that work, you will be impressed to know that at least 25 of them are going to reach out to you later on and ask you whether, are you selling any work? Do you have work for sale? And so on and so forth. They're going to reach out to you. The other 75% may never reach out to you, but it doesn't matter. What they do for you is different. Because they have that work of art and they've received it from you, but maybe they don't want any more from you. That work, in hanging in their different spaces, generate their own kind of aura. So people who may never know you, when they see the artwork, it kind of stays with them. I'm assuming your works are good. And these things just stay in the ether. They stay there, they connect, they break up. But from time to time, somebody you will meet will say, oh, I saw your work in XYZ's house. I saw a piece of your drawing in this office. Oh, I didn't know you were an artist. Something like that. These things begins to mature and tell the world about yourself. So the 75% that don't come back to you for anything are still doing you a favor because they're doing marketing for you. It's like having 75 marketing agents. You're not paying them, but the work that you have with them is actually doing you a world of service. So what you then do is this. Of the 25 who reach out to you, do not try to sell works directly to them. Instead, give them more work for free. The 25%, but this time you're scaling back. You're like giving them smaller images, but this time they're more targeted. You're looking at them and saying, listen, this is the works I do. I'm having this exhibition, this and that, whatever you're trying to do. You communicate with them better. You can ask them whether they need commission for whatever. Because they have come back to you, they are much more receptive and are going to pay you more money than if you met them for the first time. Why? Because those seeds you sowed, those early stages in which you had introduced yourself with your work, are now embedded in their psychology. In other words, they are with you all the time. And so they are much easier to call to exhibitions. They are much easier to sell for you even. They are more likely to tell more people, influential as they may be, about what you do. And those words of mouth are some of the strongest selling tactics that exist in the world of art. You know, people telling other people about what you do. You know, that's really fundamental, very organic. You need that as a young artist. This project I'm talking about here, if you started it today and stuck to it, I can assure you it will take you 18 months to 2 years. But if you're able to do it, you will be at least 90% ahead of your rivals, because your rivals or your competitors will not think about investing that level of marketing to their work, because everybody wants their work to sell. But that's not the way the world works. The world does not actually need more artists, to be honest. They don't need it. The world doesn't need it. But the people who like art need more artists. That's the difference. While the world does not need more artists, the people who actually like art need more artists. So all you have to do is to find those people, and those people buy art. They spend a lot of money on art, and you can actually be a very successful artist if you develop those skills. Of course, some people are lucky, other people do it for them, but there are so many things that they don't tell you, unfortunately, about how they've made their success possible. With that said, there is nothing gained by feeling frustrated that people don't see your great work or people don't appreciate the effort you put in your work. They don't have to. They don't owe you anything. Rather, you owe them a service by trying to work out what is it that people want. And secondly, trying to make sure that you give them not exactly what they want, but what you want them to have. And that requires patience, that requires hard work, that requires a lot of far thinking, deep thinking, and a lot of love on your side. You must like people. If you don't like people, the chances of people liking you and buying your work is zero. Never mind the fables and all the false talk and lies people say about, this artist, like, he's crazy, does what he likes, gets away with it. That's not true. They're telling you fables. They're not true. For people to succeed, for someone to confidently put their hand in their pocket, so to say, and hand over $5,000 to take a piece of your work and take it home and hang it, the person has got to like you. If they don't like you, they like the fact that your work is worth something and they're going to make money out of it. So at the end of the day, they still have to like you one way or the other. If they don't like you, chances of that is impossible. It's not going to happen. So with that said, my young friends and fellow guys, and ladies, if you're going to pursue the world of art, don't take it too seriously, but be methodical, be professional, be strong, be hopeful, be wise, be smart. Work with the idea that everything we're doing in this life is temporary. So if you're going to leave anything temporary, at least make it go. With that said, have a good day.